I wanted to bring this to your attention because it's very important. We here in northeastern Pennsylvania have suffered tremendously with floods and devastation. Now, we've seen Bob Casey on the scene a lot. We've seen Lou Barletta a lot. We've seen John Udicak. Even Joe Biden, the vice president, has taken time out to come here and see this devastation and talk to the people. But somehow, Pat Toomey has been noticeably lacking. Has anyone seen Pat Toomey? Ah, now I understand. Pat Toomey is busy in Washington, busy saying no to better Social Security benefits for the elderly, saying no to better Medicare benefits, no to help for the handicapped and the disabled, and most of all, he said no to FEMA disaster relief. Unless, of course, we make them pay more interest on those loans and cut back on everything else. Thanks, Mr. Toomey. Now we know where you are and what you're doing.
Admitted that even looking at pictures and photos and getting reports, it's not the same as actually being there on site and seeing the people who are affected and how much damage.
You've been out there. You've been out there for a number of days, haven't you? Visiting very many different areas in the district.
I've been out there every day, all day, talking to people in their homes, listening. I've been asking them because they live along this river and nobody knows it better than they do.
This devastation has affected everyone, literally from the governor of Pennsylvania and the place where he and his family live, all the way to the smallest communities, rural communities, small towns. The declaration, obviously, is one of the basic threshold questions that has to be answered, and that's a determination that's made ultimately by the state. But we're going to work with the state, and if there's not a declaration, if that doesn't happen, then we'll try to get some other help through the SBA or other federal agencies. This is a time to pull together and provide any help we can. That heartache. One woman came up to me a couple of days ago and said a lot of them just collapse when they see it. This is devastating to their lives. Their whole life is turned upside down. And these are not people of great means in many instances. She was ready to collapse and she said, I can't do this again. She had about a foot of mud that she had just removed from her house. And then they look at this town and they see the same old political games here. This is a political game, holding this up. It's a purely political game. And these people whose lives have been devastated several times over the last couple of years, they don't have time for some budget guy in Washington to sharpen his pencil and figure out whether or not we respond as Americans to emergencies or not. That's a basic value. This isn't some budget debate. This is purely a political game.
But somebody upstairs better do something.
We just got word a few moments ago that the governor has formally requested a disaster declaration. So that
it would mean the federal government takes in less in interest from disaster recovery loans. But can anyone honestly say that providing disaster recovery loans for American homeowners and American businesses should be a money-making operation?
Take a look at this man, Pat Toomey, who didn't even visit the flood victims, said no to any kind of disaster relief, and then said, well, okay, but only if we raise the interest on those loans. And then only if we make drastic cuts in those programs that are so vital to the poor. Nice guy, Pat Toomey. Nice guy.
Purely a political game.
This is not a Duryea problem. It's an American problem. This is an American problem. When Americans are in trouble, through no fault of their own, when national disasters strike, it's the obligation of every other American to help. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to remind everybody, new and old, in the Congress and everywhere else, Don't tell me there's a disaster, you're not going to fund it unless we cut education or unless we cut something else to pay for it. This is a natural disaster. The American people deserve the help when it occurs. You in Duryea have been hit badly, and we're going to help you.
I urge everyone to call Pat Toomey at 814-453-3010 and tell him to stop being a Tea Party puppet and stand up for the people he was elected to represent. I invite you to join me on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube under Ken's View for You. You can also email me at kensviewforyou@yahoo.com, and please leave a comment on my videos. I always like to hear from you.